Hi und herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Folge Artist Uncut, der Podcast, in dem ich, Christopher Schmidt, mit MusikerInnen über die Hochs und Tiefs des Artistseins spreche. Wir sprechen über die Musikbranche, Kreativsein, Leidenschaft und mentale Gesundheit. Und ein kleiner Disclaimer an dieser Stelle, diese Folge ist eine besondere Folge, denn sie ist meine erste Folge auf Englisch und deswegen werde ich jetzt zu Englisch wechseln. My guest today is Horeczko, also known as Braths. Coming from Paris, he studied classical music for 12 years at the Conservatory and plays multiple instruments. Right now, he's preparing to drop his debut album, marking a big step in his artistic journey. In this episode, we talk about his transition from classical music to hip-hop and back, about the challenges from blending genres and what it means to find your own artistic voice. We also talk about his personal growth, the impact of fatherhood on his music, and how he navigates creative blocks while staying true to his vision. So, let's get into it. If you had to describe your current life phase with one feeling, what would it be?
What do you mean by feeling? Like the way I feel about that?
Yeah, like your life phase, like the phase you're right now in. How would you describe it with one feeling?
I would say evolving.
Evolving.
Yeah.
What does evolving mean for you?
Evolving is like that I go forward in what I'm doing, in what and I'm finally reaching the steps that I wanted to reach in the first place.
Okay.
That's
okay. When you say like in the first place, what kind of steps are these?
Like I have certain goal that I want to reach in my life, and finally now like I did not reach all of them, but like slowly things come together and like bring me in that direction, like to reach them basically. Like
Can you make this more concrete, or should we take it as a metaphor?
No, just like for example, like doing more classical music and all these kind of things. The thing we were talking just before. That's those were. Was one of my goals that I wanted to reach, and since 6 months approximately, like certain people give me the opportunity to be able like to reach this goal more and so to go more.
To make more classical music.
Yeah, and also like to perform more classical music live and to release classical records as well, which was like one of my purpose in life as a musician. So
nice, because when we talked the last time, you was producing a lot of hip hop music. We talked also about your life coming from like a classical background and coming to Berlin and making hip-hop tracks for well-known rap artists. How does it feel to jump between these both genres? Like from one time doing classic and then jumping to hip-hop again and then going to classic again? How does it feel like?
It feels like this. The thing is like hip-hop music ask me way less knowledge than like composing classical music. Because classical music, I really need to focus on what I want to bring out or to express my emotions, and hip-hop music is more restrained. It's more like a more narrow. I don't know if it's like the right word, but you just use few chords progression, so it's way more easier in a way than composing a classical piece. So, but it feels kind of really great. Like I had like a harder time to go from classical music to hip-hop than now doing the opposite, like coming back to classical music.
So transition from classic to hip hop was harder.
It was really hard.
Than going back.
Yeah, because you have to really like restrain yourself of like doing too much. Which in classical music we don't do too much. It's like but we try to find the right notes. But in hip hop you have to really find like the perfect notes that fit and that to give space to the singer as well. Which is something that I took a lot of time to understand at the beginning, because I was making really beats that are really full of melodies that doesn't give like a lot of space to the singers, and it took me like a few years to understand that.
Was it kind of like that the classical training kind of didn't give you so much flexibility of like going into the hip hop? Like, did it like build a frame around how music should be, and then you needed to unlearn everything of that?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Yeah, and not unlearn everything, because it's still like the base is the music. So I like in hip hop we have the same, or pop as well. You have like the same kind of progression chords, like a do, C, and everything, like C, E, F, or G, or whatever. But you have to not do too much. You have to to try to make it as simple as possible for the listeners, like don't get too much information at once, and that get like the right informations at the right time, depending on like which part of the song you are, you know. If you're like in the intro or outro or pre-hook, hook, and that took me some time to understand like the structure of like a pop and hip hop songs.
How does a French classical composer artist from Paris end up in Berlin and producing hip hop tracks? How does this happen?
I don't really know. In the first place, I came from my studies here.
What kind of studies was this?
I did jazz composition, and I started to do audio engineer as well at the Abbey Road Institute. And I don't know. Like I came back to Paris after that for a little while. Like for 1 year and a half, I was managing a studio in Zwischen, like just next to Paris. And then I was kind of like faded with Paris. Like I was like, because I spent my whole life there, which is like back in the days was like 19 years of my life in total there. I was like, I need like to meet new people, and I ended up in Berlin, and I met some really, really great people here, like Timon, Bastille, and everything. And then I built up my first studio in Berlin. So what makes me stay in Berlin basically the long term.
Okay, so you was a little bit bored of Paris,
Yeah.
like because you know it for the whole life. Also, Paris is kind of small compared
really
to Berlin.
It's 8 times
And you was
smaller.
like, okay, I need something new, I need something bigger. And you came here, built up your first studio, and what happened then?
And then, I mean, when I came here at the beginning, I met a lot of like musicians, like rapper producers. I was working in the room in the back of my flat. That was my old studio. And at some point, I was like, okay, I need to, like, if I want to professionalize myself, I need to open like a real studio, a real structure, which means to have like a company and all those stuff things. And I have to find like the right people that support me, and I support them as well. And that was like the first step to professionalize myself into the music industry in the first place. So it took me a long time to meet the right people to do that. Like, it took me like 2-3 years, but like approximately 4-5 years ago, like I met like the 2 right guys for me to start. And when we opened the company, like the first studio thing, like there was like it went kind of really good the first year. Like we did like a lot of records, like a lot of mixing, producing, and I learned a lot from that as well. Like.
Nice. So you would say like the right people opened up the doors for you to
definitely
to build your base here. That's nice. What does your family thought about like, okay, our son is going into like a classic composer jazz direction, and now he's doing hip hop? How was it first for them?
I know at the beginning, because my dad is like a classical composer. He did not understood it at the beginning that much, and he doesn't know much about the whole hip hop and pop genre. So was kind of weird for him at the beginning, but then he saw that was kind of working. I started like to earn money with it. I started like to make contacts with it, and yeah, like. And also, at some point, he saw that I was using more and more classical elements in my production, which he liked, you know, because he always told me, he said, like, yeah, if you do that, you have to play violin, play saxophone, and all these kind of things, like to bring something more that he did not found in the hip hop music in general.
So he's a supporter of you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he doesn't like all the tracks that I'm producing, but he likes, like, when I play violin or when I compose some piano pieces for rappers, he really like them, like most of the time.
Nice.
Most of the time.
Always important to have your dad with you on the journey, I think.
Yeah, it's really, and I work a lot with him, so that's really important. Like, his opinion really matters to me. The same as my mother's opinion as well. Like, my mom, she's really more. I wouldn't say that she likes everything that I'm doing, but she's way more supportive about that. Like,
I saw like your last EP. Is it with your dad?
The last release, yeah. Last single,
The last single you released was with your dad.
Yeah.
How is it working with your father on music?
I mean, I started to my first introduction to the professional classical world was with my dad. Basically, I was 13 years old, and he bring me over to the studio, and he had like one single he wanted to have a violin on it, and he offered me like to play, and I improvised, and and then we released the song. So that was like he kind of introduced me and gave me like the thing that I wanted to do classical music as my work. Like he really put me into that, so it feels really good, Like I feel like a lot of people nowadays, they don't have a good relationship to their dads. I feel like it, like around me, and I'm really thankful that I have like this bond with my father, that we can work together and that we get along about that. That's just like that's really important for me.
That's super nice and super beautiful to hear. So on the one side, you have a lot of gratitude for like working with your father.
Yeah, for sure.
Are there also like challenges working with your father? Like, I mean, in the end, it's like a father-son relationship, but you're grown up now, right now, and you like to do your own music, working with well-known artists. So how is it?
I mean, we are both super stubborn people, so sometimes it's a bit hard. We don't agree on a lot of things, or whatever it is, politically speaking, or whatever. But like music-wise, we kind of get along. So at the end of the day, what really matters, what we are working together, is music. So we try to not bring anything else and just to focus on that. And if we really focus on just composing music together, most of the time it's working. If we start to speak about other subjects, then it's not working anymore.
Okay.
But
so you need to like have like a clear border in the music production, like saying, hey, we're just doing the music, and everything else, like family parts and whatever.
Yeah, we don't talk about this. Yeah, we don't even have to say that we know that. Like I know that he knows that as well. So we don't even. Most of the time, we don't even like talk about those things, because we know that it's gonna can be bad for us.
Does it sometimes happen when you have like a family evening with your mother and your father, and like that kind of projects coming into like the family life?
What do you mean projects?
Like when you're working on the music right now, when you're working on a new single or whatever, and a new release, and you're just having like a family night, does it happen that like these kind of topics, like from I have an idea about this new song, or
Yeah. Although my dad was here last week, and we can be sitting here at the table in the morning and just like have a random idea, go plays on the piano, and then I take my violin and I come and play with him. So we just like we always try to figure out like new music and all the time, and he's playing all the time. So it's like we really push each other to create more music most of the time.
When you need to say like 3 learnings you learned from your father, what would it be?
I would say to be efficient in what I'm doing, like to not waste time, like to just like to focus on like what are like the right thing to do something. I don't know if it's like the right thing to say, just like to focus on the most important thing in what I need to do right now for my future and everything. So in that sense, to be efficient, to be stubborn in a way, like to just like to stay with my opinion, like to not be influenced by too many people and all of that, like still listening to people, which is important, to listen to others' advice and all of this, but like to keep like a certain line that I will follow. And the last one, just to be nice in general. That's both my parents, like just to be respectful. And that's something that I learned that's really important, like to be respectful with the people you're working with, even though sometimes it's not going well, but just at least to have like some kind of respect in general for each other's, with like some boundaries and all of that. Like
that's nice. 3 super beautiful lessons, or values also, like efficiency, respect, and integrity, or like to be stubborn.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I'm doing that all the time, but those are like the...
But like it's something you learn from your father. On the other side, what have you learned from the genres like classical and hip hop and
maybe what can you learn? What kind of lessons can you take from hip hop to classic and from classic to hip hop?
From hip hop to classic, I don't know if I would take anything because like it's really a different approach. I consider I think this is a different approach. So I wouldn't bring too much of the hip hop into the classical music. But from the classical music to the hip hop, definitely I will bring up some stuff like to have more like instrumentation, like to really bring like to do a crossover with like orchestra pieces and all this kind of thing, which like a lot of artists start to do that nowadays. But like to have more of that, because I feel like not everybody, but some people are interested in that. And it's always nice to have like a hip hop songs that is remastered as a classical song, which I personally feel really interesting sometimes. So yeah, that hip hop artists take more and more of like the structure of classical pieces or the orchestra pieces, you know, in the way that there's like different movements and that you don't only stick to one chord progression and maybe just like one pre-hook that change a bit, but that you all the song you have like it's evolving and then coming back to like the main theme of the song, like just to have like more evolution, you know.
Evolution.
Yeah, in the song,
music,
in the song, you know, not
evolution in your life, evolution in the music. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah. I mean, that was the first word that came to me, but just like to be more diverse about the progression, the chord progressions.
On the other side, right now in the hip hop scene, we have a lot of techno, what kind of have no evolution. How do you think about that?
I don't know because I live in Berlin, so it's hard to say. But I don't like. I mean, I have lots of friends that produce techno. You know, it's kind of, but that's not my type of music. For me, it's too monotone in a way, and I need something that's evolve continually. So also like music speaking wise and everything. So I don't find this personally that interesting, but that's just my own opinion. Like I have a lot of friends that love techno, and even my best friends, they always go to techno parties and all of that. But that's not. I wouldn't do it. That's way too loud as well. So fucking
Too loud, too monotone.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. I don't see the point of it. You know, I don't understand. Like I've been to techno parties a few times, and I've seen people like really dancing on like the same beats for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes straight, and there's no evolution. And I don't know. Like I need something that's catch me a bit more, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't have this with techno. And I know there's some evolving techno music that's evolve more and everything. I guess he really likes you.
Yeah. This little fly is falling in love with me. That's fine.
But yeah, just like maybe I don't know enough about techno to speak about that. But the techno that I listened to in the past years were not in my taste, I would say.
Got you. Yeah, I think like dancing on techno can have something psychedelic movement. Like it's like just like doing like a hardcore workout, but and coming like a trance modus. But yeah, it's I also like when techno music doesn't have too much, like if there are no vocals and it's too dark and like just my body is like it's getting really stiff. So when I get in a club and the music is too hard and too dark, I'm like really my feet get like really heavy, my legs get heavy, and I'm not able to move. I was like, that doesn't feel right for me.
Right.
So I also like more the uplifting, so a little bit more like house music or something.
Yeah, house music is cool.
Yeah, so I can really identify with that, but like with the dark electro techno, whatever, I'm like.
But there's also more movements. I feel like personally that in house music there's way more. They sample a lot of jazz songs and everything. And that's to me more interesting, like in that way.
Yes, feel that. Would you say you're a perfectionist?
No, I don't think so. Like I like to aim to be perfect in certain way when I compose music and everything, but I like also sometimes to have some mistakes Like also when I play piano, when I record like piano pieces, I don't want it to be like perfect, 100% perfect. I like to have like some like tiny mistake. I wouldn't play like a note that is not meant to be. That will like if like I have like a rhythm that is wrong. Same when I play the violin, and all of that. I don't mind about that. And in my daily life, I'm really not a perfectionist as well. Like I like when things are clean, and all of that, but not more than that. Like
What does it mean for your life to make mistakes?
to make mistake is like to allow yourself like to do something wrong, you know, like because like I know that I'm still young. I still have like a lot of things to learn. So and I don't see the point of being a perfectionist because I know that anyways, whatever I'm gonna do right now, I will make mistakes. So I just rather be like, okay, I'm in a learning process and I will try to learn as much as possible with everything. And then maybe in 10, 15 years, I will try to aim to be more perfectionist about things, yeah. But that's not the case right now. I don't like. I still have like a lot of, even with my son, you know, I have like I did a lot of mistakes in the beginning, and I'm trying like to arrange it also right now, you know. So it's like that's a whole process that I'm doing right now. That takes a lot of time.
So you mean like making mistakes in life and having like setbacks is important to grow?
I guess so. Like I mean, it's important to me, and in the way my life is going, is that I just saw that in the past year, that's what like allowed me like to go farther with like things, you know. So always when I made a big mistake, that I learn from it, and then I know that we never do it again. Or sometimes I do it like 2-3 times, and then I don't do it anymore. But
yeah, sometimes you need to do it more often, like
the
mistake to really learn from.
To really learn from, you know.
I once heard a quote from George Clooney, I think. So he said, "You never learn something from success; you only learn from failures." What do you think about that?
That's completely true.
That's completely true.
Yeah.
What puts more pressure on you, working with another artist or working for your own music?
None of them, honestly. Because when I work with other artists, I'm never alone. At some point you always work with you always co-producing on tracks. So you always work with other really talented producers that I really like or that I really admired before, then I have the chance to work with. So knowing that I'm working with them, I feel super safe about that, super confident. And classical music is the same. Also don't have any. I'm not scared. I don't have anxiety of when I'm composing classical music as well. So because I'm just expressing myself. So at the end of the day, that's just a reflection of what I'm feeling at this moment when I'm composing a song. So I don't see the point of being stressed.
That's beautiful. I mean, a lot of people going into a session or trying to be creative with a kind of pressure to have an outcome, a certain outcome. And it's really beautiful to hear that you go with the mindset of I show myself. I put my feelings into the music, and how could I put pressure into it when it's just my feelings?
When it's just my feelings, you know. And I really see it mathematically speaking, music is really maths in a way that when I compose, it's still a lot of feelings, and you have to imagine, you have to give emotions to it. But at the end of the day, when you compose, it's really mathematic, the way that you follow certain rules. And you have to still follow rules. So it's the same with music production as well. You have certain rules that you have to follow, and so when you master that art, you just I'm not saying that I'm mastering this because I still learn about that. But you when you reach a certain level, you just follow the rules that you learned the past years, and then it's supposed to work most of the time.
It's so funny that you compare music to mathematics.
It is mathematics.
It is mathematics. Yeah. For me, it's like magic. Every time I see like musicians working together and like playing like instruments together, and then something happened and it sounds beautiful, I'm like, oh my god, that's magic. Yeah, I'm always like that. And like when you first told me that it's like kind of mathematics, I was like, I don't want to know it really. please let me some kind of this magic.
Yeah, I mean,
because I really love to be impressed.
But it's like everything, you know. We're also a photographer, because you're also a photographer. You know, when you're calculating the lights and everything, you also like do some maths. You know, when you have like the small, I always forget the name of the. You know, when you take like the lights, the room lights, you also do some calculation.
I never work with the mathematics rules.
Earlier with this,
to be honest, I do everything from like just feeling in it.
Yeah, that's also a lot of photographers do that as well.
And sometimes I work with other photographers, or when in the past when I worked with other photographers, and they have like all these techniques with them, and they was like making notes about the light settings. I was like,
what the fuck are you doing?
What is this? You're making like, then we know later that we have the setting. I was like, I mean, that's a great idea. But always when I'm like in the mood of like, let's build up a set and make some pictures, I'm so in this tunnel that I can't think about like writing down the settings and like I'm just.
I mean, I feel you, and I'm sure with music a lot of people also see it that way. Like me when I compose music, the thing that I'm doing the most is counting on my fingers. Mm-hmm. This I was like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Do you have sometimes creative blockades, like creative blocks that you can't work?
Yeah. I used to have that a lot, but because I used to overwork myself back in the days. I used to produce every day, to take sessions almost every day, or to be able to studio every day. And I realized after 2-3 years that I was working a lot for 4-5 months. And then I couldn't produce for like 2-3-4 months. So, because like music, I mean, personally, it's really like a jauge things, you know? Like a jauge, you have like a jauge, I don't know how to say that in English. But you have like a big thing like this. And the more and more you produce music, the more and more it goes down. Mm-hmm. And you need like to be able like to level it, you know?
To refill it?
To refill it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To refill it. I don't do music, or I try to not listen to music, or to do anything that has nothing to do with music, which I do most of the time. That's why I don't listen to music most of the time nowadays. Sometimes I'm not gonna play on the piano or the violin for 2 weeks or 3 weeks just to clean my mind and like to build up new ideas also, and to not like lose all my inspiration, because I feel like I'm losing my inspiration really fast, like. Most of the time, which is
like you're losing your inspiration when you're doing too much.
Yeah. Then I don't have any more ideas, or I will just repeat myself. And I'm trying to really avoid this, because I don't want to be. Because I don't know, it really affects my personal mentality when this happens. When I feel like I want to do something, I have the opportunity to go to sessions, but I'm not gonna take them because I know that I'm not gonna reach the level that I would want to reach. So I would rather just stay home and play video games.
That's really interesting that you say that, because I think in the music industry always there's like this idea of doing more brings more, and that you need kind of pain and suffering to be successful. What do you think about that?
It's like a 50-50 type of thing. I feel like at the beginning you have to do a lot. When you start as a producer, as a rapper, or whatever, singer, I feel like at the beginning, the first 2-3 years you have really to do a lot. Like to meet the more people possible. Like you have to send over samples all the time. Always like in the scene, like to try to reach out to new artists and all this kind of thing. But at a certain point, when you get like few credits coming up, when you have like one big placement, maybe 2 or 3, then things start to come to you, and then you can start to relax. So it's like that worked this way for me. I don't know, maybe certain people have like others stories, but my environment, even my friends that I've seen in Paris, I know that they grinded a lot in the beginning, but at some point, you can chill a bit, like can just like. Il faut pas se reposer sur ses lauriers. You don't have like to chill too much. You still have to be active, but you don't have like to work as much as as before, you know.
Okay,
Which,
so you mean like in the beginning, like you have to grind a little. There needs to be a
a
hustle
lot.
because you need to put yourself out there,
Yeah.
get in contact with all the people, and trying to like produce something and build something up, like build a product. So in the beginning, you don't have a product, so you need to build a product. But do you think it's also like necessary, like also in the beginning, to have like little breaks in between that you can be creative?
For sure, especially. But the thing at the beginning, I don't know, because me when I started to produce, everything was new for me. So on top of like getting to build up my my portfolio, to build up my connection and all of that, I needed to learn how to use like Ableton, Logic, Pro Tools. So all the time I was like really spending and just learning continually. So there was a whole process of 2-3 years that I was sitting on my music desk, and just watching YouTube music videos and going to sessions. And I did that for a really long time, or traveling as well with my friends to go to other studios, to other cities, to meet other people, like to go to other countries as well, just to have like different inspirations and to see how different producers in different countries work as well, which was really important to me, you know.
Okay, so like the beginning was kind of being creative, but also like having this education part in it.
Yeah, that's a big part, because you have to educate it. You just have to aim to be professional at some point, you know, and to be able like to speak about it also as well, you know, to not, if you end up in a session with like big producers, you have to know about what you're talking about. You know, if he's asking you about a specific thing in a mix or whatever, you have to be able like to reply to him properly, you know. So it's like that really mattered to me. That still matters to me right now. So that's why I felt that I had this need to learn like what I was doing, you know. So
Okay, got it. Like it's kind of hustling, but it's not like being all the time creative and like going to session to push your limits. It's more also like getting into the scene, into the bubble, learn the language, learn the knowledge, what you need to learn. So I think also in this time it's like really intrinsic motivational. If you say like, okay, there's so much new to learn, it's like, everything. For me, it's also like when I come into coaching and I was like, okay, learning with all new projects. It's like, yes,
that was a really good time. Yeah. I feel.
What would you say makes your music and your style unique?
Like I wouldn't say that my music and my style are unique, because like I'm basing myself on other compositions. I have like a lot of influences from Chopin, from Bach, from Mozart, Lully, from like a lot of classical composers. So, but that's what I'm aiming for right now. It's like I'm aiming like to be more unique in my compositions and not to be too influenced by other people. Like maybe I would say that in the hip hop industry, I wouldn't say that I'm unique, because like some people are doing the same as me, but like the fact that I bring like more classical element to it, or like to orchestrate some of the songs in like a hip hop song, I take it and I compose it with a full orchestra or something like that. That would be a bit more unique in a way. Okay. It's not unique in a way that nobody does it, because some people do it, but just like just to dissociate myself from other people. In that way.
So like in the hip hop, it's like your classic background and your knowledge about like doing orchestras and everything. So that makes you kind of, unique, but it's like your style, and people know that you can do this. So they come to you and say, hey, Braths, let's do some kind of classical amazing shit together.
Yeah, classical, like, exactly. Yeah. To make a mission, you know, like to mix things together.
A mission,
yeah.
Oh, good German, I love that.
My Dutch is good, mine. But
alles gut.
Alles gut. But I love that now when I go to sessions, people, they ask me more often to bring my violins or saxophone and everything, and I really like that. I really enjoy that, you know, that I don't have to, because I used to come and I used to be the one sitting on the laptop and I have to record everything and all these kind of things, which is I love to do that, but it's really tiring. I feel like it takes a lot of CPU in your head, you know. But now I just come, I play, and that's way easier for me to do that.
Nice. How does it feel for you? Like that the people value your skills with violin and saxophone and like your classic training?
It feels that I'm reaching one of the goals that I fixed myself in the first place. You know, that was like my goal, like to be not recognized, because now I'm mainly working in Germany, but that in Germany, in my circle, that people see me more as like the entre guillemets classical guy that come and like to arrange the song in a way. So that feels really great, you know. Like I'm happy that people don't call me anymore to make a trap beats and everything. I'm really happy about that, because I used to not hate it, but that was like too much. That was the same. I feel like I was doing all the time the same thing. Like there's like I did like, I don't know, so many beats in my life.
Yeah.
And I feel like 50% of them are like, they have like the same harmonization, you know, they have like the same, like the same, you know, same bass, the same drums, the same pattern, and I was really tired of that at some points. Like I was like, if I do that for the next 10 years, I'm gonna quit music and do I don't know, sell books, you know, which I love books, but like I will do something completely different, you know. So
maybe let's wait for a second.
that's vachement stressant.
Yeah. We don't say the number. Yeah. So like it feels good to be recognized for your skills and not just producing over and over again the same beat.
Recognized, I don't know, but that the people that I'm working with the most right now, they contact me for that. That's really
nice. I'm happy for you.
Thank you so much, Chris.
I'm happy for you.
Merci beaucoup.
Because you said like you're working to be kind of unique also in your classical music. When you would imagine like Braths in 10 years, your journey is like really evolving and you coming closer to being unique in a classical way, what would be like 5 traits, like 5 specific traits about your music? What makes you unique?
Complicated, because like a lot of things have already been made, like in a way that I would really want to be able like to find a mix between hip-hop music and classical music in general, you know, like to bring lots of more hip-hop artists on like orchestral records, and that's one of my goals for this year and for next year. On the long term, I really want to be able like to compose really big symphonic pieces, like really big orchestra pieces. That's where I'm working on that right now. It's still not there. Still have some things to learn, but I'm working on that. And I would also want to develop my skills on the piano as well, because I have like a lot of ideas and I'm writing a lot of piano pieces that I'm not able to play myself. So I really want to be able like to reach that step in 10 years that I can play fully my compositions and all these kind of things. And also like I'm from, like my mother, she's from Algeria as well originally, like some Sudan and Algeria. And I really want to bring more instruments from North Africa as well, like the hoods, for example. My grandfather used to be a hood player in the mosque in Algeria, and I really want to find a mix between Algerian music in a way, even if it's not the same progression. I really want to find like a right middle between those kind of things, or to bring like Arabic instruments into classical music.
Nice. That's a beautiful mix, like from integrating classic more into hip hop, also have like influence, like there having like this Arabic influence into it, having like a piano influence in it, and creating symphonies,
which is kind of hard, you know. I don't know how you can really do that, but I will try to do that
I'm
on the long term.
sure you will find a way.
I will have to go in Algeria for sure for bits. But just to try to mix them together.
That's nice. I just saw that you produced the new Apache Luciano Gesegnet song with like already having like 10 million streams. Congrats for that. Is there a difference between working with like a big artist like Luciano or Apache, or working with like more newcomers, like smaller artists?
There's no difference personally. I mean, I work on that track with thanks to Mixway McLeod. Thanks to them, a lot of other producers were involved in the song, and I don't see any difference. Like, because at the end of the day, we produce a record. We try to make it like the best as possible. In that case, was like with Luciano, so they really put a lot of effort into it. On the mixing side, on the production side, to make it sound as bigger as possible. But we also do that with like a smaller artist. Like the only difference with bigger artists that they have like more financial resource that can allow them like to have like bigger names on them, on their songs and everything. But even at the beginning when I was working with like smaller artists, I was putting the same amount of effort in the music.
So your effort is always the same, no matter what kind of artist is on the other side?
I mean, if I do a song for someone, if I'm paid by someone to do a song, I will always try to do as much as possible with the song, even with like the strings or the instrumentation. Sometimes it's hard because it's not. Sometimes people ask me to do, or used to ask me to do crazy things, like they come, because sometimes artists, they come with like crazy, they want crazy thing, they want to mix Arabic songs with like a deep house, and then I don't know, to have like a choir or whatever, Sometimes it's not doable, you cannot do it, but you always try like to find a middle. So and means that you always try like to give everything to reach the artist's expectation in the first place,
Okay, nice.
Whoever it is, if it's like a Luciano or like the rapper from the streets next to you, so it's like
Yeah, you work with a lot of rap artists. Some of them are more street, the other ones are more like commercial.
Yeah.
Did you had like funny or crazy studio sessions with some of these artists?
I mean, the most of the time they're super chill. I mean, they're always like really humble and really nice, I heard a lot of things about people, and I'm always like sometimes skeptical about receiving them. But at the end of the day, like, no one was like weird or like bad intentions. It was only one time like 2 guys came at the studio. Like they're quite big. I mean, one of them is quite big. And when they pull up at the studio, I didn't have like a huge place. The studio was like 30 meters square. And they pull up at like 15 people. I was
like
alone.
You saw they came in with people and they came in with 50.
Yeah, so there will be like 2 or 3. They came like the whole gang came like this in the studio. And the studio was almost brand new, and I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. And I did not felt unsafe or anything because like I knew the manager and I talked to them already before. So I know that nothing would happen, but I was still like a bit weirded out by that. I was like, that was like the only crazy experience that I had. Because most of the time it's really smooth, You meet like the guy, you take a coffee before, you speak a bit about his life, about your life. You put like a certain like a safe place for everybody, and then you start to do music. You always talk a bit before you do a session with someone. Like personally, I always do that. I don't just come straight and put my laptop and start to play. Yeah.
So to get to know each other in the first place and like get a feeling for each other.
Yeah.
I'm always imagine like when like 15 people coming to the studio session and having nothing to do with the song, having nothing to do with what they are doing there. what the fuck are they doing?
That's a good question. I'm asking you the same. No one knows, man. They don't even know what they are doing there, So it's like, but sometimes it's funny. I guess most of the time it's like friends or like, they just want to come to support and just to be there. Or I don't know. It's like,
no of them have to work.
I don't know.
No work for them.
I mean, it used to be really late, so I don't think that I don't know, maybe they do some sketchy job, but like they weren't working at the time. And no, it's like super, that was a bit weird, but you tell them, like, you speak like really politely. You tell them that the studio doesn't have the space, obviously, like to sit everybody, there was a couch with like 3 space to sit. They can all sit on the floor, so it's kind of weird, It's like, looks more like an elementary school, which is like big 2-meter dudes, which is not the purpose of the sessions, so you just being polite and tell them to get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out. I really enjoyed that you're here, but get the fuck out. Got you. When you produce your own songs, do you also produce them with other producers, or do you everything by your own?
Which mean my classical songs?
Yeah, classical songs.
No, I do it by my own. Like I co-composed the piano song with my dad because that's his expertise. Like he's like a piano composer, so it's like it makes more sense to me to. If I have to do that with someone, it would be my father. But the other songs, I bring some of the songs I'm featuring artists. Like for the next album, for example, I have like Esther Abrami, and through Sony and the management, we realized that she would be like the best one that features one of the two of the songs in the album. So in that way, I co-compose some of the song, but I do most of the thing myself for now. Maybe we change in the future, but I like to do things alone. If I need something on top, if I need to play like a really hard piano, if I have to compose a really hard piano pieces for a specific movie or advertisement, then I will for sure ask someone to help me about that. But I mean, for now, I can do most of the thing alone.
That's nice. Like, yeah, just do it with your own. Like, do it at your whenever you want. That's nice. You don't need anybody to help you to produce your idea. You can just do it by your own.
I need people afterwards. Like when I need to record songs, I need people.
Okay. So when you record, you have another producer who helps, or like
you have like engineers and everything. Okay. Yeah, like to, especially when you record the orchestra pieces, you need help. Like.
Do you play all the instruments for the orchestras by yourself, or you have other?
It's half. Like on the album, like half of the song, because you need a lot of financial resources to record like an orchestra. So most of the songs that I composed, I recorded them myself. Like I record like separately each instrument, and which sounds good as well, but doesn't sound perfect because it's not like an orchestra. You know, orchestra everybody play at the same time. You have like the nuances. You have like all the feelings come together with like the orchestra master that make it
also like the energy together, like playing together.
Yeah,
seems like
way
another
bigger
energy than sitting alone in the studio and like playing the violin, playing.
Yeah, I mean I do enjoy that as well. So it's like, but just to as a first step, that was it's a good exercise as well, you know, to play everything yourself, like to compose different pieces, and also since I record live everything. If I have like something that is wrong, I can change it straight away, you know. And which, if I compose like a piece for orchestra, I send it to Diane, Peter, and everything, and everybody like said that this is good. We're gonna record it. If I see that the day before that something is wrong, it's harder like to change it, you know. It takes more time, or you have to change every violin's parts, and then you have to make like all the cellos and viola's part fit to that, so it's a bit more complicated. But if I'm alone in my studio, I can change whatever I want, you know, so it's like straight away. So
how many instruments do you play?
So my main instrument is violin, then piano. I play saxophone. I learn bassoon at the conservatory. So those are like the 4 main instruments that I play professionally in shows and everything. I can also play. I can play guitar. I can play cello, and then also when you learn piano, for example, you can play xylophone. But you don't really count those kind of things, you know, because it's like the same structure, you know, on the xylophone as a piano. Or you can play also like the different saxophones, and you know, but that doesn't really.
Like
you don't. 4 main, and then and bass as well. Like.
Got it. You told me in the conversation before the podcast that your son just turned 3.
2.
2?
Yeah.
2. Okay, 2. Sorry.
No problem.
How has that changed your life, that you're becoming a father, or that you are a father right now?
I mean, it took me a year and a half to realize that I was a father in the first place. Maybe not a year and a half, but it took me a long time, because it's a lot of change, especially that was not something that I was expected in the first place. So I'd like to rebuild my whole life around this, my whole professional life around it as well, because like I had like completely other plans for my life, and I wanted to move from Berlin at some point and everything. So now I need to to rearrange everything to because I want to be there for him. So which means that I have to stay in Berlin for the next at least 10, 15 years. I mean now it's 2, so maybe like a year. But like so it's like professionally speaking, it changed a lot of things. But that's good. Like I feel pretty good about that. It really pushed me like to do even more. You know, like I was doing a lot before. I really want to do even more now. I like to also like to really structure myself professionally, and I want to be able like to give him something, to leave him something behind, you know, like because you never know what's happening. I don't want to be alarmist or anything, but you never know in life what's happening. So it's like I want to be able like to make as much music as possible, and to that in case something happened, that he has something to sustain in a long time, you know.
Yeah. How do you balance family life and career?
It's like the thing at the moment is like I was in a complicated situation with his mother, so I did not have like the chance like that he would be there with me all the time. So since now it's only a part-time situation, it's pretty easy like to arrange it. Like I don't have him like a whole week that then I would be stuck. I wouldn't be stuck with him, but that would be more complicated like to go to work and all of that. But that's why I'm really seeking the chance right now, like to do as much as possible and to prepare everything for when I will be able like to have him like not 100% of the time, but like I will like 30-40% of the time, I hope.
So like this separated model gives you also enough space to work on your career.
Yeah.
And when you have your son, you can be fully there for your son. That's nice. How do you set boundaries, and what does setting boundaries mean to you?
Setting boundaries to me is when people like cross the line, for example, you know, when they are disrespectful towards you or racist or whatever, you know, that really matter to me personally. And I don't know, like I feel like I'm lucky enough that I'm working with people and I'm surrounded by people that I don't need to set those boundaries, because those people already have like, they're pretty mature and pretty respectful towards other people as well. So I don't even need to say those things. I set more boundaries when in the past I used to have like problems, for example, with like police or like people in the street when I was traveling and all of that kind of thing. And then when people say something that is not meant to be, then you have to set those boundaries and they have to learn that they shouldn't say those kind of things. You can sing whatever you want, you know, if you're racist or if you don't like black people or Asian people or whatever people. You do it at your place, you know, in your home, in your bed with your wife or with your kids, you know, whatever. But don't like just come and just express yourself like that, because like I don't think that's the right way to do, you know. So you have to teach them, especially when it's all German people or Italian people. You have to really it's hard to make them change themselves, you know, their mindset and all of that. So you really have to sit with them, or not to sit, but like to stand with them in front for like 20-30 minutes. To explain them that what they're saying is not right, and they cannot put like everybody in the same like package, you know. It's not. Otherwise, we can do the same about white people or Asian people, or about like a lot of races, you know, which that's not true. So yeah.
So this is like one part of your life where you needed to set boundaries, or sometimes set boundaries. Are there other parts of your life where you set boundaries, like saying, hey, until this point and no furthermore, like also in your career or your family life?
I mean, family life, luckily, also my parents, they really, because they're coming from a really not rough background, but they're like rough stories in the family, both of them. So I know that my parents, they really it was really important to them to make it as easier for us, you know, to not reproduce what happened in their family, in their own family. So they really made sure that we don't have like to express ourselves, like that we have to, that they're gonna reach certain boundaries with us or whatever, you know. They really made sure that we are like happy and they cared about us and all of that. And in my professional life, personally, also never had like any problems, thankfully. Like I was working in a studio in Paris. At the beginning, I was a bit young. My boss, George, used to be a bit too much in a way that he was asking a lot. But also I was really keen to, I really wanted to learn at that time. I still want to learn, but I really wanted at the time, like I wanted to learn about everything. So I still did it. And even though it was a bit too much, but I did not, just the only boundaries that I would set back in the days was like, that don't call me like 7 a.m. in the morning to come at the studio, to open the studio. I was like, that doesn't...
I'm an attendant. Don't go fuck yourself.
He ask you, can you come clean the studio? I'm like, well, what the fuck are you taking about? It's not... I really said that to him. That's why I'm saying that way now, because I was like, that's not right, I'm not a cleaning lady or I have nothing against that, but like, I don't mind cleaning, but just there's a certain time, like to ask me to do those things.
Got it. When we talk about boundaries, sometimes boundaries are just needed to protect your mental health and to protect your health in general. How do you prioritize your mental health?
That's a really good question. Like I don't know if I really prioritize my mental health. I don't really think about that. I was thinking about that like 3 years ago when my whole baby with the mother situation happens, because that really affected me. And that was like the first time in my life that I was really affected by something like that. It really changed. Even my girlfriend Mara, she really that really changed my my way, the way I was behaving and everything, because I had like so much anger in me that I couldn't express properly. A mix of like being happy, but at the same time sad, and at the same time a bit mad because like things went the way you wanted to. And I was 23 and a half years old back in the days, so it's like I was like it was really hard, and on top of it, you have to work, you still have like to put your car in place and all of that, and you have like family problems, and so it's like there was but just to come back to what your question was, like mental health wise, I guess, I don't know, me there was the thing that really helped me was like just to talk with my friends, to talk with my family as well, like to always try to put words on my feelings, which is hard for me sometimes, but I if I really put an effort to it, I can do it. And also like to be surrounded by people that know me a lot and that loves me a lot as well, that can understand the way I'm reacting and behaving, because I'm not saying that is any justification for the way that I'm behaving, but they will understand why I'm like sad or mad or like delusional about something, because I'm going through a hard time,
Okay, so when you have like hard times, it's important for you to talk to family and friends and to express your feelings also, like just to let them out.
Yeah, for sure, especially my sister and everything.
I know from all the podcasts I did already and talking with other artists and knowing also myself that creatives like you and me have often like negative thoughts or self-doubt. How do you deal with that?
You have to be more specific about what kind of negative thoughts do you mean?
Like not trusting yourself, or thinking everything you're doing is shit right now, or like the next thing you will produce is also like blah. Or you see someone else and he's more successful or whatever. Like they're coming like in this creative bubble. I don't know if you feel like that.
Yeah.
I feel sometimes like that.
Yeah, for sure.
If I see someone who is like younger than me and is much more successful, I'm like, fuck. And then coming like this little thought, this little voice in my head, and he's like, you're over 30 right now. You wanted to be in a different place when you're 30. You want to have like this. You want like this. Why you don't have that? How do you deal with that kind of thoughts?
So, when I was younger, I used to compare myself a lot to other people. I don't do that anymore a lot, because I learned that it doesn't bring me anything to do that. And
how do you overcome this from comparing yourself to others to not do it anymore?
Because it really affected me, like when I was, especially when I was younger, when I was like 19, 20, I had like friends that already started, for example, to have like big placements and all of that. And I did not add that. And at some point I was really like, okay, damn, I need to take a step back and to not think about that no more. And I don't know, in my brain I can really structure this thing that if I don't want to think about something, I'm just like, I just forget about it.
Okay.
It takes a bit of time to
Yeah.
reach that point, but as soon as I do it, then I don't think about it anymore. Thankfully, I'm not thinking about that now. I reach a different step also in life and career-wise, so I'm not trying to compare myself to other people, because like you say in the creative industry, but I feel like those things, you can see it in any kind of industries, you know, like if you work in finance or if you work in politics or whatever, you know, you can always compare yourself to someone younger and like more successful than you, but that's not really what matters, because you can at some point just be more successful than this person just out of nowhere, you know. It's like some acting, a lot of actors, they become famous really old, or like producers as well, or painter or whatever, which is in our bubble, you know. I don't think there's like a specific time to be successful. Just like it just comes when it's supposed to come. Sometimes even it's never coming. Yeah, although you're doing the right things, but it doesn't mean that you're doing bad things. You know, it just mean that you did not took the right opportunity, or you did not like the chance. Because I do believe it's like a big part of it is chance. It's like I would say it's like a 60% work and being like self-confident and all of that, but like 40% is like having the chance to meet like the right person at the right time, you know, most of the time.
Yeah, I think this is kind of my definition of luck. It's like, for me, it's 80% like putting the right work into it, and 20% being able to use the situations and the opportunities you get in life. Because if you didn't have the knowledge, or didn't have like the preparation of being like good in your craft or whatever, like if you get an opportunity and you're not ready for this opportunity, you will not take it.
Yeah.
You will not be seeing it. You like, maybe there's like this big investor you was looking your whole life for, but you don't know that he's a big investor and you're not able to talk to him. So this opportunity is not right for you. So yeah, that's nice to hear that you have like kind of the same feeling for like 60% work. Everything else is using the chances or opportunities you get in life.
Be lucky, especially in the music industry. Yeah, all this kind of thing.
Yeah, it's funny for me, because like sometimes in the world it's like, yeah, and they all like just have network, and yeah, he or she's just famous because she knows the right people. And it's like, yeah, but I think people work like that. We humans work like that. We need each other to build something. And if you are the person who goes out and meet the right people and knows the right people, perfectly easy guy. It's amazing.
If you stay at home the whole time, you could be like the best photographer, the best composer, or you're not gonna reach anything, unfortunately.
Yeah. If you don't put yourself out and talk to people and show the world that you're there,
it's not
you
gonna
can be an amazing painter, whatever. No one knows.
No
Maybe
one
after
will
your
know.
death.
After your death, yeah. Like most of the people back in the days, unfortunately.
Thank you for this insight. I know you was on tour with artists already, and I think you told me last time that you also want to go this year, maybe also on your own tour. How's tour life for you?
It's pretty chilling. It's like
It's chilling.
It's pretty chilling.
Never hear about that.
Really? No, but I don't know. It's like because I'm not a singer.
Yeah,
I would be a singer. Maybe I would have a totally different opinion about it. Like when I play shows. Often I played like songs that I prepared myself, like or that I did rehearsal with other people. So it's pretty, you know, you play the same songs over and over all the time for like a certain period of time. So it's like, especially when it comes to playing chords or music, or when I play like my own shows, I play the song that I composed myself, you know. So that's super nice, you know. I feel like you're getting paid to play your own music, you know. That's why I feel like that's crazy. So how can I be stressed about it, you know?
I mean, people watching you can make mistakes or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't know. Mistakes is part of the live thing, you know. You don't come to see like a violin player like to play perfectly the whole piece. I mean, that's not the approach that I have to it, you know. If someone is doing a mistake, he's doing a mistake.
It's
you know, you
life,
cannot be perfect all the time. So, and I do mistakes when I play live. Like sometimes my own songs, I don't forget them. Just I forget what I wrote just after. So I start to play like the B part of the song, and I'm supposed to play the A prime part, you know. So it's like and I just you just arrange a bit, and people most of the time they don't even realize it because you play like over 1 hour. So there's so much like information that they're receiving, and if you like mistaken like 2, 3, 4 times over like 1 hour, you know.
Yeah.
It's people they don't even like. You shouldn't like be focusing too much on that. You know? Like I used to be so much more stressed because I was doing a lot of like a representation when I was a kid in Berlin at the conservatory. Yeah. Also playing with the orchestra, and at that time I was like really stressed because I was really small as well, you know. And but I don't know. I guess I overpassed this stress thing, you know, like feeling like anxious and all of that, you know.
So you don't have like anxiousness or nervousity before you go on a stage?
Touching wood, but thankfully and my friends, even my manager Robbie, like even like the people that when I did few shows last year, they were asking me, "Are you stressed and everything?" And I did not felt stress at all, you know, because like it's I don't know, because like I said before, it's like I play my own music, you know, and I'm so happy that already like people are coming to listening to what I did, you know, in the first place. That I'm like, I don't know why I was stressed about that, you know.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful mindset. That's really, really, really nice to hear. I think because for a lot of artists, it's like this pressure of being like perfect for the crowd and everything. But to be honest, when I'm in the crowd and watching an artist and he making mistake or don't know the notes anymore or the text, it's like, yeah, you're human. Thank you very much.
Thank you for making mistakes.
Thank you for making mistakes and don't be perfect because, like,
it's
in
not
the end,
so cool.
the edges and scratches and everything makes us so imperfect, but perfectly imperfect. I love that.
I agree with you. And also, I just wanted to add that being a singer, I guess personally, it's way harder than playing an instrument. It's hard to play an instrument, especially certain pieces. With a singer, you have to be like physically there, like also you have to be careful about that you drink enough water, that you be careful with your voice and all those things. You have to entertain the people and all of that. And when you play like classical concert, people they come to listen to you. Most of the time they know your music, you know, so they expect already like what you're gonna play. They just sit, you know, so it's like a different dynamic as well. Like,
yeah, totally see that. What are 3 values that are important to you right now and guide your life?
Values, you mean like a thing that I value in life?
Yeah, values in life, like family or friendship or health. Or...
Yeah, it would be like family was like the first thing. Because like including like me being a good father or aiming to be a good father and like to learn how to be a father. That's and family, you know, really, really important. Family, then family and friends, I would put them together. Second of all, it's like to give enough work. It's like that's still important for me. It's like I know money. It's like it's hard topic sometimes, but that I really value money in life in a way that really brings you the fact to be more like free. They give you opportunity to do more things and to achieve more things as well. So that's really one thing that I'm really focused on, making money. I know it sounds weird to say that. That's really one thing that I value a lot in life, to give myself the possibility to reach what I want. And reaching what I want means to invest some money, some kind of money in certain things, which means that I need to make money too, blah, blah, blah. And so that's really important to me in that way. And the last thing is like to share things as well. Like that's like one of my goals right now for the next 5 to 10 years. Like I will try to do that sooner, but like I still need to learn some things. It's like to share the knowledge and like to transmit like what I learned to other people, but also not what I learned like about classical music and all of that, but just to learn like the fact that when you're like a black guy, all this kind of thing mixed or whatever, that's this, especially classical music, which is like my main topic, that they are not like reserved only to one category of person, because a lot of people in France or in general, they think that classical music is mainly reserved for white people. I know that's a more bigger picture. I really want to see more and more like black people like going into that path. That's really important to me. So it's like I really want to go in France, like maybe like to, I don't know, like to reach the state or something like this, and like to go in France. We have like the MJC, like there's like a lot of organization in some cities, they like work for neighbors, all this kind of thing. I really want to go there and like to sensibilize like the families, especially the parents, not only the kids, that like classical music or music in general, not only classical music, could be jazz music or whatever, learning an instrument really help you like to develop yourself as like a person mentally, give you another knowledge that you don't know, and give you inspirations and bring you emotions as well, and I feel like that's missing in a lot of people's life. And I really want to share this, to show to different communities that they can do, especially in that case, like classical music.
Nice. Beautiful. Family and friends, money, and share.
Yeah, money in a way that's
it's really interesting with the money, because I was thinking the last days also over this, because I had also in my goals and my visions, I had like one goal was like financial freedom, and I was getting the question from a friend some days ago. She was like, hey, this transition to English and back to German, like this transition to English, was it for the money? Was it for going far, like bigger and more, everything more, and just for the money? And I was thinking about the question, because in my mind it was not for the money.
Yeah.
And I was reflecting today again also on the question, what would be the goal in my life, like a breakthrough goal. I call it like a breakthrough goal, like a far away goal, but like something that really changed something in my life. And I had one of the goals was like earning 125k a month. So, and I was thinking about this goal because it doesn't feel really right for me.
125,000 euro?
Yeah, a month. So like 500,000 a year, something, or $1 million a year. And it's like kind of, it's interesting for me, but not for the money in the first place. It's also more for the freedom. And I think I reframed it today for me. So the new breakthrough goal is being completely free in my location, my people I work with, my work I do in general, and how I can spend my day. So like this freedom, this includes that I need some kind of money.
You need some kind of money for this.
Because otherwise I can't be free. This world is dominated by money. So, but like in my head to reframe it and say, okay, the goal is not to have this kind of money or this amount of money. So I have the freedom, and in the reverser, it means that I have kind of money.
Yeah.
Was really satisfying for me to have this idea of, okay, I do it for freedom, I don't do it for money.
For money,
yeah.
Completely, that's what I meant before. I completely agree with you, especially nowadays with like the inflation.
Yeah.
When you see like how things are going now, with like politically speaking and everything, it's that it really make a difference, I guess. Like if you have like a certain amount of money on the side, everything like to overcome situations and all of those kind of things that will happen. Maybe I don't know what's gonna happen, but like in general, even just inflation, just like that everything's getting more and more expensive. Like if you aim to have like more kids, you get married. If you wanna just buy something like a flat, you need kind of money. Not a lot. Also depend on what are your expectation in life, because people do work well with like less money, so it's like, but it's just a matter of like what you expect in your life, and it's just like
for sure. Talking about money is like always an interesting topic. I want to shift it a little bit to, because you worked also with like really famous people. What does fame mean to you?
Fame means just like being known in a way, like the only difference between like a really famous rapper is beside that he's earning more money, that he has like a better deal with like a label or whatever, just like people knows him, like that people recognize him for his art and like whatever he's doing, and that's people see through you like a big artist or a big painter or whatever, you know. So that doesn't mean, for me, it's not a goal, like, because what I want to reach in life doesn't include being famous. You can be rich without being famous, personally. So, and I guess that for most people, being famous really affect their life, because then you have to restructure your whole life as well. You know, you cannot just walk in the street. I don't think that's like in Germany, where Luciano, for example, I don't think that he can walk in the street just like that with his wife or kids to go get a coffee, you know, Starbucks. I don't think that's working. No, cool work, you know, but complicated. Or like in America, same with like bigger rapper or like singers or whatever. So I don't know. I feel like reaching this kind of level of being famous is maybe good. Maybe you make you have more partnership and all this kind of stuff, but then you have to really restructure your own life, and it means also your family life and all that goes around, you know, which I don't think it's a good thing.
You're losing your privacy.
Yeah, probably. And whatever you do, people are gonna judge you, which this is okay, you know, because people always judge, you know. But still, to have like the weight of like knowing that every time you say something or do something or you go somewhere, if you're not dressed the proper way or if you say like the wrong thing, people are gonna just take it and just like put them out of the context and just, I don't know, make something that will be completely different.
Some newspaper will write about it.
You know, and like it's just like that's I don't see any benefits in that.
So if being famous is not part of your vision of being successful, what does successful mean to you?
To be recognized by the white person. Like I don't mind not being known by everybody, you know. I just want to be known by the white persons that matter in what I want to achieve, you know. Like the whites, like for example, like a playlist creator, or like the white person in the label, the white composers, you know, that I want to work with in the future, like the white artists, you know. Like being known by them was much more than just being known by other people in general, you know. That's because that doesn't bring that much thing on the table. You're gonna sell maybe more tickets when you do live performances, or you're gonna sell more merch, all these kind of things. But that doesn't really matter to me personally. Maybe we change with the future, because like maybe when you grew up professionally, maybe you want to reach another category of people, more people, to be able like to sell all the things like. But that's not my goal right now. So it's just like I don't see the point of it. Like there's like a lot of, I want to do like movies composition, movie soundtrack, and advertisement soundtracks. That's really my goal. And for now, so it's like there's a lot of composers that you never heard of, that you know their music for sure, but you never heard of them, and that's what's really interesting for me, you know.
So making like big tracks without no one knows you.
I feel like it's way more cooler, you know.
Being fucking rich, but
nobody
no one knows that you exist.
No one knows that you exist, you know. But everybody,
the white people know.
The white people know,
but like not the mainstream, not like Luciano walking on the street and every kid is screaming, "Hey, can we have a picture? Can we have a picture?"
It's like my dad, for example, he did like the music at the airport in Paris, in France in general, and we sing some in Africa as well. And there's like millions of people that listens to his music, you know, but nobody knows him, you know. It's like some people do, like the white people knows him, but like the tens, millions, I don't know. I mean, he does that since 10 years, like this. I don't even know how many people listen to his music, but like nobody knows him. Like,
crazy.
And that's, I guess, for me more interesting that way, you know.
So this is like kind of a definition of success for you.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
I have 3 last questions.
Yeah.
Ready for that?
I'm ready.
What does it mean to you to be yourself?
To be myself?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I don't know. I feel like I did not change. I mean, so far I can remember like my first memory that I had, I was like maybe when I started to play violin, like the really strong memory that I had, I was like around 4 or 5 years old. And since then, I was really conscious about things. although I did not understood everything back in the days, but I was really conscious of me being there, like my environments and everything. I don't think that it changed that much. I learned a lot from the shit that I did, mistake that I did and all of that. But I feel I'm still like the same 5 years old guy that I was 20 years ago. Just just like just a bit bigger, you know. Just
a little grown.
just a little grown. It's like just a bit more structure as well in life. But so be myself is just like stick to who I was in the first place. Like I said, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, but I'm a bit stubborn in life. So just to stick to my ideas, even though sometimes I'm willing to listen someone else's opinion and to change my opinion as well, to make it evolve, you know, because I know that I'm not right about everything. But yeah, it's just to stick to myself. Like,
I think that's beautiful. Like to recognize that you are the same person, like your first memories, kind of.
I'm the same.
I mean, with memories is always like a little strange, because like memories are whatever. Yeah, they shifted, and we structure them always new. Like we telling over and over the same story, but the story evolving. But it's kind of beautiful. When you would describe yourself in like 3 to 5 adjectives, what would be the words you would pick for yourself?
For me now or for me before?
No, right now.
I would say nonchalant.
Nonchalant.
Oh, a bit nonchalant, yeah.
What does it mean?
Nonchalant, nonchalance. Like a bit, not just like a bit nonchalant. I don't know really how to. I guess that's the English word as well. I'm not sure.
I'm also not sure.
So I guess it's nonchalant.
So.
It just being like a bit chill about things, you know, not to take things too seriously in general.
Okay, got it.
I would say also admirative, because I'm really admirative. When I see like someone being really successful, I was like admire about that, you know, because I'm always like thinking about like, how did you do that, you know? Like I'm not jealous or in any ways or anything, but I'm just like wondering how the fuck did he like do it, you know? Like what was like the thing that made the change in his life at some point that make him be that successful, you know? Whatever it is, you know, also about business or politics or whatever. So I'm really admirative with certain people, you know. And the last one would be melancholic, nostalgia, you know. Because like I'm a big nostalgic. Like I love to remind myself of like the whole time with my friends. And I base a lot of my things now on that, you know. Like I really miss like being young. Just you know, you have like €5 and or you just like go out with your friends and you don't take things that seriously, you know, and things are like pretty easy and simple, which was the case before, you know, because then when you grow up, at the time you really want to grow up really fast. And when you grow up, you were like, oh, damn, I want to come back to this. Like, you know, when you live at your parents' place, your mom, she's cooking for you. They clean and everything. They do the laundry. All these kind of things. You know, I'm really nostalgic of that time. Like, you know, just the only thing that you have to focus on is going to school, to work. Then it's finito. You come back home, you eat. You go on the weekend with your friends, just chilling. There was because now you have to think about, you know, you pay taxes, or you have to fill like refilling the car and like all this kind of shit. Yeah, you know. And I'm always like, it's okay. I guess that's the how things are supposed to go, you know. Sure. But just like I don't know, my son and my next kids that I'm gonna have, I really want to tell them. And my parents, you know, told me that's enough, that you need to enjoy the time that they are right now, you know, because it's going to be so bad after.
And over and paying taxes and bills and rent and everything.
It's finito.
Yeah, I got you. What are you looking forward to this year?
First of all, there's like the album coming. I'm putting a lot of effort into it.
Can you already say when it comes?
We're discussing about that right now. It was meant to come in June, but now we're thinking that it will come maybe in September, beginning of September, end of August, to be able like to have like enough to produce like the vinyls and all this kind of stuff, to do the right promotion, to release the right pre-single of the album. So the album, I'm really looking forward to it. Also looking forward to have like few requests for movie, like scoring. This kind of thing, so I'm also looking forward to do it again, because I haven't done that since like 2 years now. And like mainly the album is like one of the big things for this year, to do more shows as well, live performances, to direct more videos as well. I know there's like a lot of things that I'm really looking forward to it this year. But mainly the album, and to write more orchestra pieces as well. It's like I'm really working on that hardly right now at the moment. And to be able to afford this and to just to put in place like a great orchestras, or like to meet like the right people that would allow me like to record the scores, music pieces.
Looks sounds like a lot of fun for this year, and a lot of cool things happening.
Yeah, this year is pretty nice. This year's going pretty good.
Last question. If you could give young artists one piece of advice, what would it be?
It's gonna be more than what? It's way more. It would be like maybe 20. But if I have to give
them the five most important advices.
Five most important advice. Like the first one would be like to always have some self-reflection, to always self-reflect on yourself about what you're doing. Because like, I don't know, when you start producing, since you're learning everything, you always think that what you're doing is like so great, you know, because that's new for you, you know. So you're like, oh damn, I did this and everything. And I know me, I was thinking a lot about that at the beginning, with my friends when we were like in the room producing. We're like, damn, what we're doing is insane. Then you listen to it 1 year after and you're like, oh, okay, that's really, 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 really bad. It's really, did I do that? Shit, you know, it's like, so yeah, to have some self-reflection, because personally, I lost a lot of time not having that, you know, to think that we were not too great, but that we were like really evolved for what we are, our age, which was not the case at all, you know. So to be self-reflection, first of all, second of all, to always listen to advice from people that knows more than you, which also personally I didn't do. I mean, I was still learning about like the mixing, mastering, all this kind of thing. I was learning because I was listening because I was learning about that, but like about production and everything I attempted, I was always acted like I knew better than other people. You know, I was always I thought that I knew better than other people, which was not the case at all as well. So always like listen to other people, you know, even if someone is telling you that what you're doing is shit, it might be shit, and just like to listen to it, especially if it's someone that is not known, but like if it's someone that works professionally in the music business and all of that, just to listen to advice from other people, really important. Third of all is like to invest in it, as if you cannot invest too much money, then invest what you can, you know, but you have to invest in it, you know, like to buy like the right speaker, the right mic, the right plugins and everything, you know, because I feel like nowadays people, there's like a thing of like you can do music, is like maybe €1,000 budget to buy like speakers and all this kind of thing, but doesn't have like the right quality in my eyes. So I know at the beginning it's hard, especially when you're young, you don't have like the financial resource to invest in that, but like to, as soon as you can, and step by step, because I built my studio, like really took me like 4 or 5 years to build my actual studio. Like you buy step by step things, you, like if you can afford it, you take a small loan, for example, which I did myself. You take a loan, you buy like the speakers and all of that, and then slowly you build up your equipments and your, because that's really make a difference with artists when they come to your studio and you have like a Neumann or like whatever, I have a lot of Neumanns in my studio, but like if you record, for example, piano, you have like the right Audio Technica, like the room mics and all these kind of things that really make a difference with artists at the end of the day and the quality of your song. So like the third thing would be to invest in the same to invest in themselves. The fourth things would be to be surrounded with like the right people as well, because I feel like at the beginning when you're young, and again I talk for myself, you don't surround yourself with like the best person possibly, you know. You meet like people that seems cool in the first place, but they don't really, you know, at the end of the day when you're young or even now, people, they just want to make it for themselves, you know. They don't want most of them don't want you to succeed as much as them, you know. Or they want you to succeed with them, you know, but if you go farther than them or faster than them, they're like a bit, I don't know, jealous, or there's some tension. And I've seen that quite a lot, not only in Germany, in France as well, and even with people I was working in Italy. And I don't know, just to be surrounded by the right people, by people that trust you, that believes in you, that you know that if you one day you succeed the right way, that they will be like they'll be happy for you, you know, which is like really important. Like the people around you are happy for you, you know. That's and the last thing will be to four main thing. I guess was good.
Four main
thing, yeah. Four main thing. I guess there's always a lot of small things to add to it, you know, but that's small about like the production or like the way when you write lyrics and all these kind of things, but that's really specific afterwards, totally. You know.
We are four: reflect, advise, invest, right people.
Yeah.
Love that. Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you too much for you, Chris, as well.
Thank you
for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Merci beaucoup, monsieur.